This episode of Lunch with Doug is produced by the Music Exerbia Project and made possible by the Boutique Marketplace at 500 East Cherry Street in Nevada, Missouri. Karen McNair, the friendly neighborhood nutritionist, at 269-267-4644. The Hairy Frog Graphics, 150 North Commercial Street in fabulous Nevada, Missouri, or call them at 417-381-1077. The Second Edition Shop, located at 500 East Cherry Street in fantastic Nevada, Missouri. The Main Square Cafe, located on the square, 121 North Main Street, Nevada, Missouri. The Gamers Fusion, located at 617 East Cherry Street, Nevada, Missouri. Impact Graphics, located at 14144 East Highway 54, or call them at 417-283-2056. The Nevada Tobacco and Liquor Store, located at 125 West Cherry Street in Nevada, Missouri. The Nevada Coin, 123 East Cherry Street, Nevada, Missouri. I'm your host, Dangerous Doug Harper. Thank you for spending your lunchtime with me. All right, folks, welcome back to another great episode of Lunch with Doug. And as promised today, the one and only Karen McNair is here in the studio. She is the friendly neighborhood nutritionist, and that is an amazing title, and it's great to have you. How are you today, Karen?
I'm well, thanks, Doug.
So it's been a minute. We've actually been talking about this, having you on the show we talked about you on the show already, but we've talked about you coming down and being on the show for some time, since about back in November, right?
Yes.
Yes. And what got this whole thing, we'll talk about, you're going to be having a meeting coming up, an event, but kind of we started talking in November, and November is National Diabetes Month. And can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, first of all, I think it's kind of weird to celebrate a dreaded chronic disease. But then again, I suppose it could be a good time to talk about it. Like, did you know that right now 34 million of people have type 2 diabetes? And if you were to ask them, what is diabetes? I'm sure they would not be able to tell you. For one thing, there is so much misinformation about type 2 diabetes. I always tell a newbie diabetic that as soon as he gives friends and family the new diagnosis, he will hear every wives' tale and urban legend about diabetes from here to the Mayo Clinic. But the newly diagnosed will not be able to tell the difference between fact and fallacy. The long-term chronic diseaser doesn't even separate truth from lies. Truthfully, there's a lot to be known about diabetes, and it can't be stated in a simple soundbite. Your doctor is not able to spend the time needed to explain to you what you need to know to manage your condition. The nurse practitioner does a little better, so that's where I come in, your friendly neighborhood nutritionist.
Ah, what an opening. I mean, I thought you were great before, but now I'm blown away.
Well, thanks, Doug.
I've been hearing some really good things about you too out on the town. I was like, oh yeah, do you guys know Karen? Somebody would say something about, diabetes to me, and in passing, I would talk about you, and come to find out they've already consulted with you.
Yes, that might be true. That's probably true, Doug, because a lot of people already know me from my work at the hospital.
Yeah.
I am a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I've consulted and counseled and managed people with diabetes for my entire career.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you've just went from being officed at the hospital to being officed on your independently now.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, at the Art Shop Studio, which you could say is my office too.
Fantastic. Yeah, they didn't even think it was an art shop. They said they went to your office on that. And I was like, wow, all right.
Good.
So what happens when you're referred to as a registered dietitian for diabetes management and training?
Well, that's a good question. When you're referred to the registered dietitian for diabetes management and training, you're allowed 2 hours a year paid by some insurances and Medicare. 1 hour with the dietitian at NRMC costs about $400. However, 2 hours a year, is not even enough training and knowledge to set out to manage diabetes. On the other hand, if you're fortunate enough to attend a certified diabetes self-management training program for 6 weeks, you'll gain 8 to 12 hours of training at the cost of $2,500. Medicare does not cover that type of program, and only a few insurances will cover it. As a result, most people with diabetes never get any real training on how to manage their disease. The truism that diabetes is a chronic progressive disease becomes true only because most people can't manage the disease. They will end up with a chronic, progressively worse problem, an ever-increasing combination of old and new medication, and the costs of which are spiraling out of control. Hey, Doug, did you know that while 30 million people have diabetes, 1 in 5 don't even know it?
Wow.
Have you ever thought about the fact that compared to the CCP virus, that's what everybody calls COVID?
Yeah.
This is a genuine pandemic. And don't count on a vaccine either.
So is there a way out of the problem?
Well, yes. The good news is there is hope. I am a very old-fashioned person and tend to believe that knowledge is power. I'm all about knowing your enemy. Therefore, when you know what causes diabetes, how it progresses, then you gain power to control it. I want everybody interested in learning about diabetes to come to All About Diabetes. I plan to host this meeting free to everyone at the Nevada Public Library, All About Diabetes. I intend to host it regularly as a community service, and it's for people who have diabetes and want to know more about it. That is, more than the sound bites provided during the doctor or nurse practitioner visit. I hope people with diabetes, pre-diabetes, and metabolic syndrome will come, as well as their loved ones. It's free to everyone with an interest in diabetes. But you do need to know that this is a free service for educational purposes only. You will not be asked to sign anything, buy anything, or even provide any personal information. Program information is not intended to diagnose a disease or prescribe any treatment plan. I also encourage you to consult your physician or healthcare provider about any changes you wish to make in your personal situation.
So why would somebody want to come to this meeting on Thursday, January 11th?
Because I hold out a great hope that you can change your life if you already have diabetes. But as mentioned, 34 million people have diabetes, and 1 in 5 don't even know it. There's hope for those people too. Since the signs of having diabetes are quite obvious, you can learn them and do something about it, because pre-diabetes is not pre-anything. The degrading process of insulin resistance and high blood sugar have been well at work by the time your doctor says you have pre-diabetes.
Wow.
Well, there's some other things you might want to be aware of. Did you know, Doug, that of people who died with the recent coronavirus, 9 out of 10 were diabetic?
I didn't know that.
Well, that's a good reason why you might like to come to this program. How about 75% of people with diabetes have high blood pressure? You know, talk about the degrading situation. It isn't just diabetes. Heart disease. A third of all diabetics have documented heart disease. Did you know that people with diabetes are 4 times more likely to die from that heart disease?
Wow.
Yeah. Did you know that the rate of stroke is 4 times more in the diabetic population?
I didn't know that either.
To me, don't you think that's a good reason to come and learn more?
It's a pretty good reason. My interest is already at a new level.
Hey, that's encouraging. That's great. Did you know that 30% of people over 40 have impaired sensation in their feet? Oh. And that's a problem. Talk about getting around, walking, living daily life. Here's the real dreaded issue: dementia. A 4-fold increased risk of dementia in people with diabetes. And that there's so much so that in the scientific and medical community, they're now calling dementia type 3 diabetes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's real exciting. That's, to me, a reason why you want to figure something out about this problem. Oh, you know, there's one more thing I want you to know, and why I'm passionate about this problem. Because I know that diabetes can be a chronic, progressive disease. It can be. But I don't believe it must be a chronic, progressive disease. I think there's a way out of it being chronic and progressive.
Wow, you just kind of blew my mind with some information. And we've even spoken before, and I've learned some new things. Every time I speak with you, I have to have new information and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about the event you have coming up. And that is, as the show is airing today, is Tuesday, and that'll be this Thursday, which is called, what do we call the program?
All about diabetes.
Just all about diabetes.
Yeah, because I don't really know at any one time what we're going to talk about. I want people to get questions answered. Yeah,
you'll give them this information that you gave us today to kind of get started if they hadn't already heard that.
Yeah.
And then you'll move into other stuff. It's Thursday, January 11th, and there's 2 sessions. There's an early session at 10 a.m. if you're an early bird or if you don't work evenings or whatever. And then you'll be back at 5 p.m. for another session. Same information, just making it available for
a different group
scheduling.
Of people. Yeah.
And it's free. It's in the Nevada Public Library Annex Room, which, if they don't know that, it's on the corner of, what is it, Walnut and Main.
Yep.
And that use actually originally that was for longtime Nevada folks. That was the YMCA came there. Originally, that's where the YMCA was.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a long time,
Well,
Doug.
and before many years before that, I think there was a car dealership there. But so you go on the side, you enter off of Walnut Street, opposed to the regular library entrance that comes off of would be off of Ash. So it's on the side there, next to right next to the Bushwhacker Museum. If you've been along that way, it's got the nice glass windows. It's got those very cool couches and stuff you can see in the window there. That's the room. I just want to come see the room. I've never been in there. It's they remodeled.
It's nice. It's nice. They got comfortable chairs and regular lecture chairs.
Yeah. And the official address is 212 West Walnut. And again, we said corner of Walnut and Main Street. And how long are you going to be in your meeting?
I have the library reserved for about an hour.
Okay.
And, people can come and go. Mm-hmm. There's nothing to say that you hard and fast.
Yeah, if you get the info you need, you can be like, okay.
Yeah.
Act and now run. And I guess the follow-up to this is after they get the information, some people will go out and they'll just have this information and they'll go on their own way with that, present that to their health provider or whatever steps they make. Some people will want to have you work with them. Like you said, this is not something that you're going to be pushing down their throat, but if they do want this service, this is what you do. You have individual consulting.
Yeah, I do. I do indeed. If you see Nutritura on the bottom of the poster, Nutritura means nurturing. And that's a form of the word nutrition. It's not something that you do quickly. It's something you nurture and takes time. So, yeah, some people might want to put that extra time into promoting a new lifestyle, a new diet, a whole new health plan. Mm-hmm. It's a new year, Doug.
Yeah.
It's time for those resolutions to really, really take hold and do their job.
Yeah, and the other day I was visiting with you there at your office, and as I was leaving, somebody was coming to have a session with you.
Yes.
And you had spoke on, they were just kind of, one of their main objectives was just to lose weight.
That's absolutely right. I see people to lose weight. I see people with special diets. Mm-hmm. My big passion, I should say, is to reverse diabetes, to really help people deal with this condition because, as I said, it does not have to be a chronic progressive disease.
And I guess where I was going with this was that diabetes is not the only thing that you deal with, but what you come at, and I guess what you're seeing is that diabetes is more of a problem than people realize.
Oh, absolutely.
So many more people are like, oh, okay, well, I'm a little overweight. Why am I overweight? Well, actually, you've got prediabetes, which is, like we talked the other day, is basically you've already got it. It's just a fancy way of saying, maybe you're not going to notice it yet.
Yes. Maybe you don't feel so bad. Maybe you don't have to worry about watching your children grow up or your grandchildren grow up. That's a big thing I hear when people come to my office. Well, I always ask people, what brings you here? They want to see their children grow up. They want to see their grandchildren grow up because they just found out that diabetes can be very devastating.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's making you decline instead of,
yes.
And unless you're pushing back, like you said, there is an out for this, but unless you're doing something about it, you're not, and then if you're pre-diabetic and you think, oh, everything's fine, you're doing nothing for it, And
That's right.
You should be very proactive. Like, now is the time to take action, and I know that. Well, Karen, it's been educational. Always educational when I talk to you. I learn more and more every time, and I can see where just in passing talking to you, how someone would not be able to get all the information, and they would need to. That could have very good benefits and moving. And we're constantly, the medical world is constantly learning new things too.
True.
And this information is coming down the pipe, and you're on top of that information as things are developing and they're learning more.
My big interest.
Yeah, you are on top of those things where maybe some places aren't maybe getting that information as fast, because this is what your specialty is. This is what you do. So if you want to call Karen, let's say you can't even make it to the meeting. If for some reason you can't make that, she is going to do more sessions down the road. We'll be informing you of that. But you can call Karen directly at her phone at 269-267-4644. Or I suppose they could just text you if they wanted to.
Yes.
Message and just say, hey, and then you could set up a consultation with them.
Yes.
Individually.
Correct. And yes, I feel like the meeting at the library will be a community service at regular intervals.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever will meet people's needs.
Mm-hmm. That's very fantastic that you're offering that service, and that you're just downtown now doing this. You're bringing it closer to the heart of Nevada.
Yes. Yes, how exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I've been very, pleased to have you as a sponsor on the show as well. And just like when I'm talking to people, everybody loves you.
Oh, thank you.
Like there's like no one that's like, oh, Karen, she is so great. And I'm like, yes, exactly. Like if you feel, if you're reserved about like who would I talk to and I don't know about people, let me tell you, you're like one of the easiest people to talk to.
Well, good.
And even if you tell me something bad, I can handle it with you. Maybe someone else could say something, I'd be like, no, I can't take that. But you're just cool.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that's Karen McNair, the friendly neighborhood nutritionist. I love that name. And coming up, I'll say it one more time, Thursday, January 11th, 2024, 10 a.m. or 5 p.m. at the Nevada Public Library Annex is the basically all about diabetes, 212 West Walnut, corner of Walnut and Main in Nevada. Absolutely free. She's not going to attack you with I want your personal information or anything like that. If you feel comfortable, you want to move forward, it's available. If you don't, you just take the information and as a learning thing, and you'll be a better person just by attending, for real. So that's my thoughts anyway, but I'll probably have to attend.
Yes. Hey, thanks, Doug.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure being here.
It's been excellent having you, and come back again.
Oh, yes.
Come back and see us when you're going to do another one. So.
All right,
yeah.
I will.
All right. That's a wrap for today's Lunch with Doug, folks. Thanks for spending your lunchtime with me and Karen today. This episode of Lunch with Doug is produced by the Music Exerbia Project and made possible by the Boutique Marketplace at 500 East Cherry Street in Nevada, Missouri. Karen McNair, the friendly neighborhood nutritionist, at 269-267-4644. The Hairy Frog Graphics, 150 North Commercial Street in fabulous Nevada, Missouri, or call them at 417-381-1077. The Second Edition Shop, located at 500 East Cherry Street in fantastic Nevada, Missouri. The Main Square Cafe, located on the square, 121 North Main Street, Nevada, Missouri. The Gamers Fusion, located at 617 East Cherry Street, Nevada, Missouri. Impact Graphics, located at 14144 East Highway 54, or call them at 417-283-2056. The Nevada Tobacco and Liquor Store, located at 125 West Cherry Street in Nevada, Missouri. The Nevada Coin, 123 East Cherry Street, Nevada, Missouri.